If you're listening to the podcast here, I'm about to issue you a double dog dare, which I don't do very often, but here it is. I double dog dare you to show up at your local human services agency and love them. And here's what happened when we did. One day, I went home in my 2004 silver station wagon, loaded up my rusted out barbecue, went to the grocery store, bought some sausages, and drove out to what was kind of an old grocery store that had turned into a government office. Maybe that's what happens in your city too. And this old grocery store that's now a government office, there's about 150 people that work in a sea of cubicles, and they're responsible to care for the most vulnerable kids. They're responsible to care for the most vulnerable families. And the church hasn't been there for decades. And I thought this is actually the portal where the church ought to be working. And so instead of kind of coming in and taking some sort of high ground, we decided to come in and demonstrate hospitality, which again is an ethic of Jesus, it seems to me. And so we show up, we set the barbecue out, we start cooking, and I walk into this office and I say, hey, you don't know me, I don't know you. The truth is, I'm so thankful for all the work that you do. I'm throwing an impromptu barbecue in your parking lot right now. And the people looked at me like, they couldn't figure out, should I call the police? Like, this is a crazy person.
We see all kinds of people coming.
That's exactly right. This man has a rusted out barbecue cooking bratwurst in our parking lot, like, call the police, right? So I think some people were thinking, this is dangerous. And others thought, well, what if it's true? What if truly this is unmerited gift? What would that mean? And I just said, listen, I understand this is kind of weird, but I'd love it if you would invite your employees to come out and get a free lunch kind of on us. And so people started coming out of this office, and the first woman that walked up was this woman. She had silver hair, and she was wearing 30 years of casework on her face. And I'm kind of nervous, and she's kind of nervous. And I grab the tongs and I get a sausage and I put it in this bun and I kind of hand it to her. And I just said, I just wanted to say, thank you for all that you've been doing to care for kids and families in our city. And she took half the hot dog, and I was like kind of trying to give it to her, and she wouldn't take it. And it was just this kind of incredibly awkward moment. And I'm saying, like, no, thank you. Like, take the hot dog. And she looked at me, and these tears just started rolling down her face. And she sat there, and she stood there, and she just sobbed. And she looked up at me, and she said, Jim, she said, I've been working for the state of Oregon for 30 years. And this is the first time anyone from the community has ever said, thank you. And it was in that moment that I knew that this was the beginning of a revolution. That instead of us kind of looking at this church and state thing as a conflict, that actually I think Jesus' intent is that the people of God would love the people who work for the government no differently and with the same kind of radical hospitality that they would love anyone. There is no government human. I don't know what a government human is. There is no such thing as a government child. And the church has created a boogeyman that is not who we think it is.